Well, hello and welcome back. Once again, I will be one of your casters this evening, Captain Atsuka, joined in part by my good friend here, Smooth Suit Sonic.
Hey, I appreciate it, and welcome back, Cap. We are here today to go ahead and cast these last two matches here in the main event bracket of today, and so I'm looking really forward to it and seeing who exactly is going to have that pressure, and as of right now, we know that at this point in time, it's basically win or go home.
It most certainly is, and that's what kind of makes this one a little bit more intense because now something is really on the line. You wanted to avoid the lower bracket for sure, but now you want to avoid being completely eliminated from the tournament, and already we're getting things off pretty spicy here. As we can already see, we are going to be playing on Hallows. And keep in mind, this is a map where Prestige Roguewide managed to beat the Bandits twice. So they're going to be watching themselves here. And already we can see some bans coming out. It will be the Glimpse and the Lancer. So no Glimpse pick for Tooney.
That is correct. Tooney has absolutely been target banned here today in this matchup, and so we're going to see how exactly Tooney decides to adapt to that situation there, and we're going to have the Glitch and the Dahlia being taken care of there, and then we have Ronin and Scorch.
Yeah, and already I got to say, again, I do like the comp of Scorch and Ronin together. I think they make a pretty good dynamic duo when it comes to util dumps. So, again, that's a pretty good answer back to the Glitch and Dahlia pick. But now the Secret comes out as well for Rome's Bandits. And I got to tell you, this is looking oh so nicely here as they pick up the Fixer as well.
Oh, yeah, and the Fixer is going to be an interesting pick. More than likely, that's going to be played by Pixie, and so he's going to try to do his best to watch everyone from afar, and while everyone else engages in that close-to-close combat, we're going to probably see Tana on the Dahlia there, and so it's going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out, but that's going to allow Prestige Rogue Wide to go crazy with the juke pick, and then here we are again with the Phantom.
Now you see, this is interesting here because I'm pretty sure Tooney is on that juke because we know Tooney can play a mean glimpse, but they are also pretty talented with juke. So I would not be too surprised, especially here on Hallows. Juke hits different on Hallows.
Juke does hit different on Hallows. There's so many lanes for you to put the drone, as well as just putting it obviously by the bomb site itself. And so it's going to be interesting to see how things are. And look at it, there it is. You have called it out perfectly, Cap. Tooney is going to be playing that glimpse or juke there, and we have the other people playing who they would like to play. And also very interesting to see that Hizzy is playing Scorch, who is actually that person's favorite rogue.
I got to be honest with you, even though that we clearly see it was a target ban on towards the side of the Prestige Rogue Wide squad, I don't think it let them phase them that much. These picks are pretty nice for their side. Again, we know that both Hizzy and Tooney can play both of those characters very well as we get this game underway.
That is correct. And so right now we're going to pretty much have Dak and Pixie battling each other with the snipe battle, as you can see them trying to terrorize each other. And then we're going to have Hizzy going into close-to-close combat with Tana, taking Tana down and going about things there. And we always going to have, Ronin going around the map and really causing havoc with the Ronin gap, as we like to call in the Rogue Company community.
Yeah, now you can see already Tooney trying to lay down that cover fire on top of Who's. But Who's, again, playing the cover so well, being able to kind of lay down a little bit of damage, all the while not sticking out too much to where they get knocked and barely getting away again. Who's is literally dodging bullets.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, I want to mention that Tana is actually not even playing Dahlia. It looks like Who's that's going to be playing Dahlia, and Tana actually went along with the secret pick. And so it's very interesting for sure, because I know most people are very accustomed to Tana playing Dahlia from the last land, but I will say that he has been having some pretty good matchups in the past with scrimmages with Secret, and so I'm not too mad at that pick.
Yeah, and honestly, Who's is playing a pretty good Dahlia as well, I'll be completely honest with you. However, when we see Who's pops off, more often than not, it's with that Ronin pick. So again, I think Prestige Rogue Wide knew that, so they tried to take off that Ronin quick.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that for sure. I mean, this map favors Ronin so much, especially on Demolition, but just on Sabotage, Ronin is just a pretty solid character all around, and so you really can't go wrong by picking Ronin at any point in time, and so it's always interesting to see who decides to go with that character in particular.
Yeah, and honestly, one thing that I love about Sabotage is the bomb reset. Whenever you find yourself lacking, you can always reset it, recollect yourself, and put the bomb back in mid. So again, as we saw, it was Tana who threw that bomb overboard, so that way they can get their team a reset and they can try and recollect themselves.
Oh, yeah, and we see here right away, Dak is actually taking out Pixie here, and things have kind of slowed down towards the midpoint section of the map once the bomb was resetted, and so we have a lot of people basically picking their positions and trying to come up with some sort of scheme in which they can ultimately try to go for that next bomb plat potentially.
Yeah, and now you can see Class on the glitch pick. That's something a little interesting. More often than not, when we see Class, we always love to talk about how good they are with the chalk. So seeing them go with the glitch, pretty interesting. But when you're playing Sabotage, it makes perfect sense.
Oh yeah, and Clash usually it looks like from at least as of late, he either goes chalk or glitch most of the time. If he's not going to pick chalk, or if he's not able to pick chalk, then he's going to go with glitch. And it's worked out for him for the most part. I mean, anytime he's really used glitch, obviously with the kit that glitch has, very, very, very viable rogue. And so with an aggressive type player that Class is, it makes sense to have someone with gold bounce back. And so at the end of the day, the glitch is going to be a nice pick, as we see a nice trade there happening on our kill feed, and just absolute chaos one by one as they try to plant that bomb.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. We had back-to-back eliminations on the side of Prestige Roguewide, but they still managed to maintain possession of the bomb and keep it out of the clutches of the Rome's Bandits. So again, you know, even though that you're going down in terms of player count, just you have to play the respawn and you have to play the time for as long as you can, so that way you can get your friends back up and in the fight.
That is correct. And this match so far has been very, very chaotic and sporadic. No one really has gotten a chance to really gain the upper advantage as far as position goes. Everyone's just pretty much trading downs and eliminations, and so we see a lot of bomb resets, and no one has really in particular even gotten a chance to even start the bomb plant animation. And so we're going to probably end up going to overtime based on how things are looking right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all, but ACOG coming in with this Ronin pick, doing it justice, I got to tell you, being able to go 1v1 against Class, get the elimination, and now throw out the dagger to keep both Pixie and Tana at bay. All the while, they're trying to rotate around and take possession of the bomb. You can see Tooney now will have the bomb in tow as they try and toss this one out.
Oh, yeah, and actually this bomb is very, very close to potentially being planted, and so they're going to have to really pick and choose how they go about advancing towards this defensive line here that you see with the Secret and the Fixer waiting right there, right by where the bomb site would be.
Yeah, this is a difficult position right now. You can see Tana, again, taking their time with the shield, just trying to get some cheeky peeks, but look at the repulsor coming from Tooney, being able to create a little bit of room, and now the eliminations begin to follow, as Tana is going to have to make their way back around to pick up one elimination, and they manage to save face as we get ready to head into extra minutes.
Yep, and now we're going to be in overtime as we see Tooney immediately taking out Tana there as he waited for Tana to come out into the open and go ahead and get that elimination there, and so Tana's going to have to wait for that countdown timer, tick, tick, tick. And we see here, Tooney's going to go ahead and try his best to throw the bomb towards another teammate that could potentially get better positioning as they make this final push, possibly, towards planting this bomb.
And now, like you talked about, this has been a game of eliminations. Time and time again, that's all we've really seen. Neither team has been really successful at planting the bomb, but they have been successful at taking each other out. So now this is where the eliminations really start to play a big factor. So now whichever team comes up clutch with the frags is going to be the team that can plant the bomb.
Oh, yeah, and the main thing here that you want to watch out for any team is that you do not want to get team wiped, because with it being overtime and you having that additional respawn timer as opposed to the 10 seconds, I believe it's 15 seconds, and so having a team wipe in general, especially when the other team is close to planting the bomb, that basically means that you're going to lose that round.
Yeah, and speaking of, they just got the team wipe. They literally only had Fixer remaining, and they were able to get the elimination, but Sonic, they didn't have the bomb.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, right before that had happened, the bomb was already put into a reset, and there was no one around the bomb to grab the bomb in time to actually make their move, and so that was definitely a missed opportunity there. And we see here, Hizzy's very, very close to potentially planting the bomb now, but he's going to have to deal with this 1v2 situation. As we see here, he gets that one down on Who's That, and I think that they are clear to plant that bomb, and that is going to do it. Hizzy and ACOG takes care of the two people that were by the bomb site, clear them out, and get that round.
I was about to say, Hizzy 1v2 on Hallows, Hizzy does that.
Oh, yeah.
Hizzy hits those every single time. We've seen them do it before, and here they are doing it again. Same game mode, same map. We're playing Sabotage on Hallows. Hizzy has it all day.
Oh, yeah, Hizzy does have it all day, and Hizzy is obviously a very dominant Scorch, feels very comfortable with that pick, and Scorch is a very fantastic rogue, and so it's going to always feel and look great seeing Hizzy playing a Scorch in any particular situation. And so as of right now, we can see here, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of team effort for the most part, no one really standing out as a lone star, and so it's going to make this a very, very interesting matchup because this is not how it appeared the last time that they played each other on this map.
Yeah, and I got to give credit to one more. I got to throw Dak Attack a little credit here because they are top fragging right now with 10 downs at the bare minimum, all with the tier. Again, you know, we kind of questioned how good would Phantom be on this type of game mode on this map, and apparently Dak Attack, they're doing pretty good so far. Even though they did get eliminated, it was still a solid trade.
Oh, yeah, and Dak is definitely pretty formidable. Oh, wow, and what a shot from Tana there, taking out ACOG. But Dak is definitely a very formidable sniper with the tier for sure. He always likes to say how confident he is with using it. And so usually whenever he's on a team, they would typically assign him that role to do that specifically. And so I know that he's confident and is able to do that with any sniper character. And so I'm not too surprised with his performance so far.
Yeah, and this is the thing about Dak Attack is that they're really quiet. They don't have the pop-off that we see from a lot of these other players that come in and, you know, they talk a big game. Dak Attack is a real rogue and moves in silence. But speaking of moving in silence, Class will very sneakily get that bomb plant off and tie us back up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, and that was actually a very fast round. You've seen there that there was a lot of eliminations that were happening all at once, and Class managed to get that bomb while things were still pretty quiet on that side of the bomb site, and he managed to get the one person that was still alive, clear him out, and was able to get that bomb plant. And so he was able to perform a very clutch play and tie this whole thing up.
And that's another thing that I love about Sabotage. You notice when we watch a lot of these matches, it either takes forever or it ends in an instant. There's never like a middle ground.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's definitely a very interesting mode to watch, especially now when they've done a recent update to the mode itself, getting rid of the live count in general. And so now we have to obviously prioritize the objective itself, really change things, how things are played, and really changes up the strategy. And so you have to be careful and also really be very meticulous with how you execute your planned offense and defense.
Yeah, speaking of execution, now we saw just now that the dynamic duo of the Scorch and Ronin pick tried to go for that util dump. Like I said, you know, that's a very good comp to try and outfrag your opponents. But that time we saw Tana really step in big and, you know, really took on that 2v1.
Oh, yeah, and right now Tana's actually in a pretty nice spot. He's going to throw the bomb here and pretty much save himself, allow himself to get close to the bomb site, but gets wiped out immediately by Dak. And it seems that most of Prestige Roguewide has now spawned by this bomb site, and so they're going to pretty much take over the bomb here and either reset it or take it away.
Yeah, but the good thing is that even though that we did see Tana get knocked and, you know, deja vu is, again, we're seeing Tana trying to make their way back into the fight. But, you know, they did manage to get the bomb a good distance towards their objective.
Oh.
And there they are. Speak of the devil, Tana finds himself on the receiving end of a headshot. And Dak, once again, making a strong case for Phantom here on Hallows.
Oh, yeah. Dak Attack right now is looking very nasty with the Phantom shots looking very, very dangerous. You really don't want to over peek or expose your head for too long because it looks like he's taking you out one person at a time.
Yeah, but that was a good reset by Class. They saw that they were on the receiving end of some damage. Did not look good for them, so they just simply threw it over the ledge, got the reset, and now we're all back down to square one here in the mid as ACOG will now go down.
And that's what it's all about, right? Sometimes it's better to play with IQ rather than just trying to go for fragging out. And so Class already knew that he was not going to be able to do anything there once he was starting to take that damage. And rather than give the other team a chance to potentially take that bomb immediately after eliminating him, he just resetted it so that way he wouldn't have to worry about that. So very smart move by him. And so now we're going to have this reset, and we're going to have this chaos that is occurring here at the bottom of that bomb site.
Yeah, but now this is a huge opportunity. They're only one player away from getting a squad wipe, and they can rush this bomb plant if they're able to get the pick on who's, and now a real opportunity is now you see Juke here. Tooney will toss the bomb more towards mid. As you can see, the respawns are beginning to come in for the side of Rome's Bandits.
Yeah, and right now it seems like that they're mostly playing for overtime, not necessarily being able to tell whether or not Rome's Bandits are near the bomb site once Prestige Roguewide actually gets that wipe. And so it seems like they're prioritizing that over actually rushing over to get the bomb plant, mainly because I believe that there really isn't anyone on their team with a lot of speed, and so it makes more sense to me.
I mean, I feel like Juke with the Juke boots might be able to get it done, but we saw Tooney there towards the end kind of throw the bomb out, trying to get it as far as they could. But now the bomb, once again, looks like it's heading back towards that Prestige Roguewide territory, and now it's kind of a standstill.
definitely a stand still here as they go ahead and try to get a reset. But we're going to see Toonie is actually in a fight of his life going against Class. And, oh, wow, and they actually get a nice trade there. ACOG going ahead with the Ronin dagger and then get that Ronin gap there. Very impressive. Dak is going to go ahead and help out his teammate there and take out Tana. Gets a nasty snipe on Class. And so they managed to clear things out yet again. And so now they can move that bomb towards that site.
Yeah, now again, this is a big opportunity because they were able to take down 3 of the 4. But look at the flank coming around from Dak, just not enough accuracy there to pick up the shot count. But you can see they will have some reinforcements. ACOG now making their way in, throws out the util, tries to shoot the nade, but can't find it in the grass, as now they will be able to recover the bomb, and they're going to go for the plant. They're going for the win with all the respawns coming in. They should have enough time, and they will pull it off as they will go up 2-1 here in Sabotage.
2-1 here on Sabotage Hallows yet again. And at this point, you have to think that Pharaoh's Bandits is going against this team on this particular map just some sort of PTSD, because right now things are looking very dire for them. And we're going to get into this next round here. But no matter what, the pressure is on, because at the end of the day, not many people thought that Prestige Roguewide was going to be performing it the way that they have. And so you got to be nervous if you're Pharaoh's Bandits.
Oh, you absolutely do, because again, they went straight for Toonie with that glimpse ban, but you forgot about Juke. You forgot Toonie can play Juke, and right now they're currently top fragging with 17 downs, tied also with 17 downs coming from Dak Attack.
Oh, yeah, and things are looking very interesting. So we're going to see how exactly Rome's Bandits decide to adapt to this particular situation here, because, like I said, things are looking pretty dicey. I'm not going to lie, Cap.
Yeah, but dicey is the way I like it, honestly, Sonic. As you can see already, more exchanges going down at the mid as both teams are really struggling to get the bomb out here. Keep in mind, right now, is for Prestige Roguewide, they're only 1 bomb plant away from solidifying their victory here in game number 1 on Hallows, as they are giving chase now, as they are dominating this mid lane.
Oh, yeah, and Tana is immediately running towards the new bomb site there and may actually be able to get that plant or at least set themselves up. Not sure why he overthrew the bomb there, so they're going to just allow for a reset. So that was a very unfortunate play there by Tana. And so they're actually not going to try to contest the secret there. They're just going to rotate back towards the middle.
Yeah, again, you know, it was a little bit of a whoops, but I mean, in that situation, I'm not sure what else they could have did. They were stuck in a 2v1 scenario, but now you can see Toonie trying to go for the bomb plant here, but here comes Clash coming up clutch to save the day for Rome's Bandits.
And very clutch indeed. I mean, Toonie thought for sure that he had the pot of gold just right there waiting for him, but unfortunately for him, that was not the case. We have someone standing by the bomb site, making sure to play defense, because right now they've been managing to get some really, really sneaky plants.
That they have, and now we're back to square one yet again, as we can see Tana going to be keeping their eye on the bomb, waiting for a cheeky peek. Is now towards the side. You can see Pixie gets the shot down on ACOG, and there you have it. That will be yet another elimination for Pixie.
And that was unfortunate because ACOG thought he was slick there trying to get undercover, but he must not have known that he was dealing with Pix, the source of a rogue company, and so he got a nice little headshot there, and it's going to take care of him. And we see right now Toonie's going to go ahead and get 1 down and potentially get 2, but he ultimately missed that nade there, so that was very unfortunate for Toonie.
Oh, and look at the repulsor coming from Toonie, but they also laid down the juke bot, and that was enough to solidify at least 1 knock, but still, they will lose the possession of the bomb as now Rome's Bandits are looking to rotate.
Looking to rotate right away. You got to try to get the best positioning as possible or just do a reset. And it looks like Class opts to do the latter and get that reset in as they put the bomb right off of the map and is going to reset in that midpoint again. So here we are starting all over, trying to see who exactly does what as they try to go for this win.
And now you can see ACOG and Toonie kind of lurking there towards the mid, making their way back over into Rome's Bandits territory. And now here comes the push. They're able to get 1 knock. Let's make it 2. As now, unfortunately, you will see Toonie fall for the side of Prestige Roguewide, but now they're trying to get this clutch plant off. They might have just enough space to get it done, as they will be showing up again, getting back-to-back eliminations, now shooting through all of the smoke, and this is where the Phantom comes up huge, as again, the smoke does come out, but this time it's from Pixie.
And yep, that fixer smoke is very dangerous to deal with, especially if you don't have a counter for it at that time. And so Hizzy ran out of an EMP. He didn't have anything there, and obviously Phantom can't do anything once that fixer comes to contest. And so they were not able to get that bomb plant, but we're very, 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 very close.
Yeah, that's twice now they got close. And I got to tell you, for Rome's Bandits, that's too close for comfort. They're going to
Oh yeah.
have to figure out a way to get this bomb, not just towards midfield with a reset, but getting it past that and back into the territory of Prestige Roguewide.
Oh yeah, for sure. And oh wow, we got a nice little 2v1 in there happening, and we get Dak with a nice little headshot on Pix, and this is going to possibly be, oh, and never mind, looks like Dak is put down by Who's That. So very nice defense from the Dahlia there, as ACOG pops up out of nowhere and goes ahead and gets a finish there, and he's going to have to try to win this fight against us, and he's not able to do so. And so now they once again are not able to get that bomb plant, but are very close yet again.
Not only that, but that was even more close than usual, because had they have gotten that Ronin dagger off, I'm pretty confident that would have been a double dagger.
It did appear to be that way for sure, because they actually played very close together. And so if ACOG had managed to get that Ronin knife, that would have been really spooky for Rome's Bandits.
Yeah, and honestly, also got to draw a little attention to Who's just now when they came across the zip. More often than not, if you're taking the zip, you're getting knocked. But the headshots coming from Who's gave an opportunity for Class to come in with the bomb plant, and they do get it off, as now we are tied back up at 2-2.
Oh, yeah, and that was very nice teamwork there with Class, knowing that he had already eliminated 2 people. There was one person that was going to probably spawn in time, in which they did, but Tana was able to provide amazing cover fire there with the Secret and not allow Class to get taken out as he tried to go ahead and plant that bomb.
Yeah, and we got to go back to some of these replays again. Tana playing Sigrid oh so well again, coming in clutch. Even in times where we thought maybe they mishandled the bomb, they were still able to use that shield again to buy a lot of time to get their respawns in for their team.
Oh, yeah, and based off of what we've been seeing so far, everyone seems to be playing very well in this particular matchup. There's a lot of fragging going on. There's a lot of very strategic plays that are being made, and just in general. And you even see right now Who's That was at the top of his team's scoreboard, and not only is he fragging out, but he's also getting revives, obviously. And so right now, this composition that we've seen from both teams seems to be working very well, and it's mostly been an even matchup.
Yeah, not only that, but now you can see they got a squad wipe thanks to the presence of Tana there in the mid, and they throw the bomb on the site. Now, this is the best opportunity that I think they have had so far. This is going to be a very close exchange here, as finally you will see Tana get knocked there by Hizzy. And the bomb's still just lingering there on the side. As you can see, it will be picked up by Who's, and they should be able to get this plant. You can see they are already popping off. That will be the round. That will be the game, and Rome's Bandits will take game 1 on Hallows.
And that is a very, very, very important game that they managed to take there, because you can see just from the hype from that team in particular that, listen, they knew that they've been struggling with Hallows sabotage. They've been struggling with it over and over and over again, and Prestige Roguewide were the ones that were able to beat them yesterday on that particular map. So they knew that it was pretty crucial that they win that, and for them to win in such a close fashion has to be very, very confident for them as far as that goes.
Absolutely, and one of the main problems that they did have going up against Rome's Bandits, Prestige Roguewide earlier, is that they did lose that early momentum. You know, they went down, and they started to go down there and on Hallows just again, but they were able to adapt, react, turn it around, and then get the momentum back in their favor.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And we've seen multiple plays here where there was just a lot of movement. There was a lot of eliminations, a lot of downs going back and forth, a lot of trades. And so it was just very important that people really waited out the timer, waited out the respawns, and allowed themselves the best opportunity to plant that bomb every single time.
Yeah, and one thing with Tana is that they might not have top frag for their team, but every time we saw them play, it was always around the bomb. Tana's bomb control was absolutely monumental for Rome's Bandits' win here on Sabo.
Yeah, it's a very, very crucial pick there with the Secret. And so I remember him saying multiple times that he is fairly comfortable with using Secret for sure, and so that very, very much played a huge factor just in general winning this particular matchup, I would say for sure.
Absolutely. You also got to keep in mind Dak Attack being able to lay down those shots with the tier time and time again. Pixie really had to step up and start challenging there so that way they can knock Dak down. Dak was a thorn in their side throughout that entire process, and then there towards the end, Pix really started to step up in a major way and shut down the momentum coming from Dak Attack.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's the type of pressure that you're going to always see whenever someone decides to go and challenge that sniper. Pix is obviously a very, very well-known sniper in the Rogue community, and so Dak already knew for sure that he was going to go ahead and try his best to contest that, and I think ultimately he did pretty well. but Rome's Bandits was able to steal that win.
Now, for the first time I think I've seen on stream so far this weekend, we're finally heading to Windward. I am so excited. I love seeing fights go down on Windward.
Oh yeah, Windward is always a very interesting map for sure, with it being such an easy map for you to rotate when you are on offense from one side to another side. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how the teams play this, because as you mentioned, we haven't seen this at all so far. So no one's played it. Everyone's at a neutral state at this point in time. And so it's going to be interesting to see how exactly this plays out.
Absolutely, and keep in mind, just a friendly reminder for the folks at home is that we are in the lower bracket, so it's no more best of fives. This is just a best of three. So if Rome's Bandits are able to take the dub here, they're going to be moving on.
That is correct. And so for Prestige Roguewide, you don't want that to happen. You want to definitely force that game 3, because you don't want to lose, especially right away, with it being win or go home. And so the pressure is definitely on for both teams for sure. But right now, Prestige Roguewide is going to have more pressure than Rome's Bandits, because not only did you lose the map and mode that you beat them in just yesterday, but now you have to try to not lose this one. Otherwise, you are gone for good.
I think one thing that's going to be crucial here, if Who's gets Ronin on this map, that is going to be absolutely detrimental to Prestige Roguewide. They're going to have to try and claim that pick first, or just hope that they go with something else, because Who's on a Ronin on Windward is absolutely dangerous, because when we're talking about Windward, it's not just one, it's not two, 3 long lanes. We're talking a lot of DMRs, we're talking a lot of snipers. So if you can really play that to your advantage like we know that Dak can, then they might be having a conversation. But like I said, it's going to be all coming down to these picks and bans.
Yeah, and that is a very fair point. And so I think here what you're going to probably see is that either 1 or 2 of the res characters is going to get banned, depending on how they want to go with that particular composition. And then I think you're going to once again see Pix and Dak go against each other in that sniper battle if they decide to go with that. I mean, I know that Pixie is going to do that, obviously, but necessarily not Dak. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, and honestly, if we do decide to go res picks here, because they might not ban them, you know, I think maybe that on the side of Rome's Bandits, they might have learned their lesson about giving the juke to Tooney. So I don't think they're going to do it again. So maybe they go for a possible juke ban here, and either they're going to give Glimpse back, which honestly I don't think Glimpse is very viable on Windward, because it is so long and it is so long laned. Like for generally, this is just a bigger map than most, so it's going to be even more difficult for Glimpse to get around. So if they decide not to ban the res characters, I could see Saint coming out with a Mamba.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's going to be interesting to see for sure, especially for Tooney specifically. Is he going to potentially go with that Glimpse pick, or perhaps go with the Hydra Vi? I know that's another pretty common pick for him, especially in Demolition. And so it's going to be interesting to see if he goes with that or with something else altogether.
Yeah, and again, this is just going to be a hard comp to really get down, because we have already seen how well these players perform when they get their right picks. Again, Class going on Chalk, that would be absolutely insane, but at the same time, we know they can play Glitch too. But now that we're off for Sabo, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Class go with the Chalk pick.
I wouldn't be surprised if Class goes with Chalk as well as Secret, to be honest with you. I think on this map in particular, at least during the qualifiers, there was quite a few times that Class has some show-out matches with Secret specifically. And so they may actually end up going with that, maybe putting Tana on Dahlia, or Who's that if he does not decide to go with Ronin, or with someone else just in general. So going to be curious to see how exactly that plays out for them.
You know what would be interesting, too, if the side of Prestige Roguewide managed to secure the Dahlia along with Hizzy's Scorch pick. I think that would be absolutely insane for them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that'd be very nice picks just in general. And then you would have a very comfortable pick for Hizzy, allowing him to play on a rogue that he claims to be his favorite rogue, and which he's shown on multiple occasions with the type of games he normally has with Scorch. May not always be a top fragger, but always allows himself to put that pressure on the opposing team and make things easier for his teammates.
And I think one thing that's going to be huge here is that we're going to see how both teams can really adjust to playing these games, because we just got done on Sabotage. Completely different game mode than Demolition. A lot more faster pace. You're getting lives back constantly with the respawn. Now, we're changing things up a bit, so it's going to have to be a lot more slower pace and a lot more methodical as we finally get to see how these two teams are going to go into these picks and bans.
Oh, yeah, and that's the interesting with Demolition as well. I would like to say that Rome's Bandits are actually a lot more stronger on Demolition than Prestige Roguewide, and we're going to see right away we get that Ronin ban out of here with Prestige Roguewide.
Yeah, and again, that's something that we talked about, keeping Ronin out the hands of Who's.
Hmm.
And honestly, I think that was a great pick, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Bandits try and go for a priority ban here, maybe again trying to keep Glimpse out of the hands of Toonie, or maybe now even Juke, or they could just straight up decide to go to ban one of the res characters. But it will be the Juke, again,
Hmm.
taking that Juke pick away from Toonie.
Yeah, and Juke is going to always be one of those characters that's going to potentially be talked about as far as if we want to ban Juke or not. And so we're going to see that Juke is ultimately banned here. And so we have the Ronin out of there and we have the Juke out of there. And so two strong characters for people that are very comfortable with those particular rogues. And so now that allows for the Dahlia, that allows for potentially a double res. I don't know necessarily Prestige Roguewide will go with that composition, but they could do that. And obviously that leaves Glimpse open for a Toonie.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I thought they was going to do. I said that if we were able to get the Dahlia pick for Prestige Rogue wide, they would match that with Hizzy Scorch, and that's exactly what they're going for. Great pickup.
Yep, definitely a great pickup. And so now we get that ultimate lineup there with the duo Link. And so we get the Dahlia, we get the Scorch. Depending on what other rogues they decide to go with, then perhaps we get a Dahlia link with someone else. But nonetheless, that's going to be very interesting there. But you see, Rone's Bandits are going to actually go ahead and make sure that Toonie can't get his hands on Glimpse whatsoever. And so they actually pick Glimpse. I'm going to assume that maybe Who's That is playing Glimpse, but maybe it's someone else. And then they obviously get Glitch once again.
And again, I don't even think that was more of getting picks that were favored to them. I think it was just getting picks to keep them away from Prestige Roguewide.
Oh, yeah, and that's what I had mentioned before, that Glimpse is for sure is going to be that pick that was going to be taken so that way that Toonie would not be able to get Glimpse at all. And so now what we see here is that Glimpse is going to be out of the board for a Prestige Roguewide, and we're going to have that Fixer and the Chalk being picked here today.
Yeah, and again, we're just seeing the same thing coming from Prestige Roguewide. They pick up the Chalk to keep it out of the hands of Class. Not only that, but also the Fixer coming through with that pick, keeping it away from picks. But at the same time, you know, you still have a runway up there. There's still another sniper that can be used, as well as Phantom. And as far as Class is concerned, you know, they definitely have a wide array of rogues that they can use, but there is the runway and there is the Saint pick.
Yep, and that is what we ultimately were expecting and anticipating here today with those picks, because at the end of the day, Pixie is going to always usually go with the sniper character, especially in Demolition on this map. I would be absolutely flabbergasted if he wasn't a sniper on this map in particular. And then we have that Saint character there for the res, because that is obviously a very important job, especially when the other character has Dahlia, or the other team has Dahlia.
Especially when you're playing on the Saint, you can get the gold helping hands in the blue lifeline. Like, that combined together is insanely clutch. And again, just to call back to earlier matches that we've seen, we've literally seen Drew clutch up for Black Hand just by coming in with the fast reses with the Saint pick.
Yep, and as we can see, it looks like there has been something that has occurred with the lobby, and so we're going to have to go ahead and get that restart there. And so we are going to have to just pretty much start over with this map.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it is, you know, unfortunately. It do, in fact, be like that sometimes.
That is correct.
But at the same time, you want to make sure that you are having a nice, clean game. You want to make sure that everybody's connected well. You want to make sure that everybody has their hand warmers, you know, so that way they can stay on top of their game. So, again, we got to make sure that everybody is playing at their most best and at their most comfortable so we can get a truly competitive match.
Yep. And so now we're going to go ahead and go to a short break, and then once everything is able to get resolved, we'll be right back.
Alrighty, Rogue. So welcome back once again to the Rogue Company Championship Series, as it looks like we finally have things underway here on Windward.
Yep, and we see right away ACOG immediately getting that down on Who's That there, who was actually playing the Glimpse, as I had anticipated before the breaks that we had there. And so we're going to go ahead and get right back into the chaos here.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, those breaks definitely did build up the anticipation, because keep in mind, one of these teams is going to be getting eliminated, and the grudge match, the long-standing history just developed within these 2 days of play, have definitely added a little bit of extra flair to this matchup.
Yeah, and we see that round there ending up, I guess, concluding very quickly, actually, with the mist of chaos that occurred there. We didn't even really have to worry about a bomb plan or anything. It was just straight eliminations, and so a very interesting start to this matchup.
Well, here we go. Let's get round number 2 underway, and let's see if it's going to come down to the eliminations again, or will we be able to see a bomb get planted? You can see now it is, in fact, Toonie on the Chalk pick. That's a little interesting.
Yeah, it is very interesting. I don't know the last time I've seen Toonie play Chalk. I'm actually very surprised that he has this this mastered skin there, or one of the master skins there. Just in general, I mean, a lot of the times you have players that, you know, obviously play pub matches and ranked and all that stuff, and so he obviously must have done it in his downtime at some point in time, because right now in his competitive history, I don't think I've seen Toonie play Chalk not one single time. So this is going to be definitely different.
That it will already. You can see that it is Pixie playing the cannons pretty well, as they are able to get that knock on Toonie. And now the Molly forces Pixie to clear out of there from the low ground, as now you will see Dak on the other side trying to get this res. And I don't even know if Pixie knows that they're there as they turn around. And now here comes the shots laying down on the Warrant. But it won't be enough to get the elimination on Pix, as now Rome's Bandits will go up 2-0.
Yeah, and Pix definitely did a pretty good job there at winning that fight, because it seemed like Dak had the upper advantage, especially with that Warrant tier hybrid that we seen there, because he was getting those shots off one by one, and things are looking pretty dicey. But hey, Pix managed to just stay alive. Very impressive.
That they do. And again, getting those headshots, those dingers, especially on Hizzy. Knocking Hizzy out that early is honestly monumental for the progress going for the side of Rome's Bandits, as again, they will be holding on to a 2-0 lead.
That is correct. And Pix has definitely been doing pretty well so far. Looking like the MVP for his team already within these 2 rounds. He has 6 downs and has absolutely been wreaking havoc with the Runaway, Nightshade, and tier combination.
Yeah, and now you can see who's that along the side, laying down a little extra damage, gets the... I'm sorry, they didn't get the knock. I thought that Simtex would have done it.
Yeah, and that was actually very close. He almost potentially got 2 people there that were at the market station there, but it does not matter, because we see that the glitch was taken out in the midst of that at the meantime.
Yep, that it was. And now you can see Toonie and company trying to rotate back around. Dak going to be watching the long left lane here, as Toonie once again is going to try and take things over towards the zip. Last time they tried, unfortunately, they were eliminated. So again, they're going to try and take this fight over towards that A site.
Yep, and Dak there taking out Pixie, who was sniping, and also taking out Who's That, who was playing mid after getting that down, but unfortunately is in a tough spot. And so now Class is going to be there with that Saint pick, trying to take the 2v1 situation, and was not able to do so. And now we just get into the situation again where, hey, things are very close.
Now, see, this is also really interesting, because I cannot remember the last time I saw Class on a res character. Again, going into this 2v1 scenario, you can see Hizzy leading the way with that Scorch. And not only that, but they're almost leading the way there for their team, currently with 3 downs in the 3 rounds.
Yeah, and it's actually a very interesting point to make here, just in general. The only person, excuse me, the only person that is actually able to stay with the picks that they normally go with is going to be Pixie, who's playing that Runway, but not too used to seeing Tana on Glitch, not too used to seeing Class on Saint, and here and there, I guess you could say that you see Who's That on Glimpse. So very interesting situation here as we see Pixie taking out 2 people right away. What a nice 2-piece, and so that is a fantastic start to this round.
And that's exactly why that they have been performing oh so well time and time again. This is their map. This was the map made for Pixie on the Runway pick as well. And now you can see they're going to have to turn around here as the flank does come through from Toonie. But the Simtex was oh so nice, giving Rome's Bandits now a 3-1 lead.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that is the interesting thing there. The fact that they even tried to go towards that bomb site knowing that Pixie was going to be there with the sniper was ultimately a very dangerous decision for them to make in that situation. And so we're going to see if they're even going to plan to try to do that again, because right now they have Pixie looking like the ultimate superstar in this matchup.
Absolutely, and this is so funny, because we were actually talking about earlier how it seemed as though Runway was starting to fall out of the meta, and that didn't sound right to me. You know, of course you want to go with the fixer pick, but the Runway having the ability to have that second main weapon, that comes in handy, especially when you're getting flanked by a Chalk and you have to pull out the Hydra to take care of business.
That is correct, and so a Runway is always going to be an interesting pick for sure. I think it's just more so the fact that util has been changed in how we utilize it, and so a lot of people don't really see the need to play Runway as often as they used to. But it doesn't matter when you have people like Pixie, like Slop, those that are very dangerous snipers, that allows them to be able to switch between the sniper and the AR, because at the end of the day, you can immediately switch from going from long-range combat to medium to close range.
Now, you see, this was a great push coming from ACOG and Toonie. Again, they're running the Springland meta, the Dahlia Chalk Link. They're bringing it back here in the Summerland, and it paid off huge in that round. As you can see, they were able to get the bomb off and just go all out with that push, and now you could see that that only the lone player in Who's That will remain on the side of Rome's Bandits.
Yeah, and they actually did a pretty good job proving me wrong right away because they went ahead and went back to that B site and planted the bomb there with Pixie being there, because so far they have not been able to do anything whenever Pixie was within range of watching their movement. And so they're going to actually go ahead and get a pretty clean round and win here in this situation here, Cap.
Yep, that they are. And now they're only one game away from equalizing. And you can see it looks as though that Toonie will get the little elimination there at the end using the zip. You know, all good, all is fair. And we get ready to head into the next round here. And it looks as though Prestige Roguewide are not done here just yet.
Oh, yeah, not at all. And you can see right on the players' faces, they are all locked in, especially ACOG there. We got to make sure that we stay focused because we know what is at stake here, because if we get eliminated, we go home.
Yeah, and you can see Dak Attack starting to climb their way back up in the leaderboard as well. You know, we were talking about Pixie being able to get the 10 down so far, but Dak is not far behind with 7.
Yeah, and Dak is going to be doing that. He's going to try his best to contend with Pixie, knowing how this map is, especially when it comes to snipers. And so that is the reason why they made sure to assign Dak Attack to that fixer pick, because at the end of the day, we all know that Pixie is going to prioritize sniping on this type of map.
Absolutely. And now, once again, we can see Toonie and company making their way back over towards that A site. And quite honestly, they have not had a lot of success here so far. So they're going to hope to try and change that. As you can see, they are going to commit to the towards this this A site here, trying to get the plant off. And now ACOG going to provide a little bit of cover. Who's still way in the back, trying to get a deep flank. And Pixie also going to be hovering around towards that mid lane as well.
And that is the interesting thing, actually, because the way how this is currently set up, as you mentioned, there has not been a lot of bomb plants that's been happening in this particular matchup. I mean, they just really haven't gotten a chance to do so. And we see Dak obviously being able to take out Who's That there, who was actually trying to get a nice flank way in the back of the map. And he's going to manage to escape with his life. And Pixie's not going to be able to get any trade whatsoever. And they lost 2 of their other teammates in the process. And so now we have just a very unfortunate situation for Rome's Bandits here.
What was crazy to me is that entire time they could have planted the bomb, they simply did it. They just relied on the eliminations that entire time, and then finally, when it came down to just Pixie left, then they decided they wanted to plant the bomb. But either way, they were able to get the job done and now tie us all up here at 3 apiece.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you don't have too much intel on the map. You don't really necessarily know where everyone is at any point in time. So they probably were not expecting that Who's That was so deep into their own spawn, basically, and that we had Pixie was pretty much close within that same vicinity. So PRW does not have any intel character. And so now we see right away that they're just going to be in type of dire situation.
Yeah, that they are, as we get ready to head into round number 7 here. Again, we're going into the half, back to the pistols, and it's all fair and all square. I'll be completely honest. I didn't think that the momentum from Rome's Bandits would have slowed down so drastically, but so far, here on Windward, they're not bringing the same type of ferocity that they had on Hallows.
Oh, yeah, and Toonie right away gets a nice down on both Class and Tana, rushing right away towards that zip, as that is a very popular destination to go to whenever you're trying to go to this A bomb site. And so he's going to go ahead and get that 2-piece there and potentially get this revive on Hizzy as well. And so Pix, once again, it's going to be in a very unfortunate situation because he just happens to be the last one alive every single time, it seems like. And so now they're going to be down 3-4.
Yeah, and honestly, and again, this is just for me here, but Toonie could have got an ace with the Spitfire, and I still wouldn't like that weapon.
Yeah, and that is correct. And so we're going to now go ahead and get to a Prestige listen-in just to see how things are going with their comms.
I got fast shots.
We play it slow. Let's play this 4-3 slow.
Plus,
All right.
I don't even think Pixie's got money.
Can somebody go like B long?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Maybe Dak?
I'll do it.
Okay, yeah, Hizzy's fine.
You going market?
ACOG, go golden. ACOG, go golden. Dak, go away.
Alright. I'm gonna snipe the party box cross, pretty much. I'm gonna peek right.
If they're hitting mid, I'm just gonna flash market like they did us.
Okay. They're hitting it. They're hitting here. They're hitting here.
Yeah, they just used their flash.
I'm going back R1.
One's flashed.
He's a hard right, Toonie, hard right.
Who's one shot?
Hit.
I'm one in the back behind me.
Yeah, Pixie.
Oh my god, he's one.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
wait, I thought he's right here. I ran out of fucking ammo, bro. I was shooting your guy. That's, they're both hurt. They're going up through our gold zone.
I got just rushed up on mid.
Class is going in.
Yeah, if you go,
We gotta call it who's for sure.
Yeah. No, that was Pix that flanked you though.
Yeah, just ran right down mid.
Yeah. So I feel like if someone runs mid, then someone's just gotta stay there and
Yeah.
stay put.
Like in that situation, maybe Dak, you run arches
Yeah.
so that don't happen.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, those are some interesting comms there. Again, they were trying to play slow that time around. You even heard as, let's play this 4-3 out slow, but it didn't really pay out for them.
Yeah, it was a very unfortunate situation there. There was not really anyone else watching that mid, and so as a result, it was very, very, very close to allowing themselves to pretty much get rushed right away, right through mid. And so with no one watching them in that particular situation, it allowed for them to get flanked by that runway there. And so Toonie was just basically in a pretty tough situation. ACOG was not able to go ahead and provide that cover as he was already shooting at someone else in a different direction.
Yeah, and we have talked about it time and time again here on Windward that Pixie has been the real issue here. And you could clearly see that even Prestige Roguewide, they know it, as once again Pixie is going to get the elimination on Dak here a little early.
Yeah, Pix has definitely been looking like the ultimate superstar on this map today. And so I'm sure this explains why he's been waiting to play on this map specifically this entire time, because he's been telling me about it. Sonic, hey, listen, we haven't got a chance to play Windward yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing how exactly things play out on this map.
Yeah, well, now you can see it's going to be a full send over towards that A site. As you can see, Rome's Bandits will finally be able to get a bomb plant down, and there you have it. It has been planted, and they might be able to take the lead here back away from Prestige Roguewide.
Yep, they planted the bomb and then immediately was able to go ahead and put themselves into the enemy team spawn. And so now they have a nice, pretty angle for each and every single lane that they decide to go, unless, of course, they decide to go all the way back to the opposing team spawn.
Yeah, now this is going to be interesting and an interesting exchange. As you can see now, it will be Class who has to back off here as they're going to go into this 2v1. Now a 2v2 with the support. Who's being able to come up huge for Rome's Bandits as they should be able to get the defuse here. Oh my goodness, what a round. As you can see, it was Hizzy to come in clutch to really shut down that aggression that was coming from Rome's Bandits.
Yeah, that was actually very, very spooky because Class managed to hold things down right away. Even though he was in a very nasty spot there, he was able to really scare them off and was just in a tough situation. And so now we are good to go here with that type of round, and Hizzy basically saved that round for Prestige Worldwide.
That they did. At first, I thought this was a 2v2, and I could have swore that Who's got the elimination onto Toonie, but no, it was an outstanding flank coming from Hizzy to really save the day. And you can see Hizzy, again, making their way up the scoreboard as well, but still, Pixie being an absolute nuisance to their squad. But with this, so far, one-round lead, it should make things a little bit easier for Prestige.
Yeah, and hopefully things will continue to make things very interesting for Prestige Roguewide, because we're going to see how exactly they decide to play this offensive, I guess, map here, because Toonie has basically set himself up very, very nicely. And so now Rome's Bandits immediately gets eliminated yet again. And now Pixie is going to be in the fight of his life with the Tear in a Dream. And we're going to see if he actually manages to clutch this up. It's going to be very tough, but unfortunately, he gets flanked by a flanking Fixer, which I'm not too sure I say that too often.
Yeah, it's not often you're going to see a Fixer flanking.
Yeah.
How many Fixers have to flank in order to get a Fixer flanking? I just made that up. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But in all seriousness, though, Dak Attack did come in clutch to shut down Pix. And now you can see Toonie really delivering the damage in that last round, as they will take the #1 spot on their team so far, at least for assists. Again, getting a lot of that damage in, and then using their teammates to really clean things up.
Yeah, and things are looking pretty interesting for Rome's Bandits now, because right now, as I mentioned before, Pixie has been looking like the absolute megastar. He's been basically soloing this at this moment in time. You have some standout plays, some Class and others from time to time, but obviously Pixie has managed to put himself far above the rest, and so it's going to be definitely demoralizing for him if they manage to allow themselves to lose his map and have to go to a third map despite the type of match he's been having so far.
Yeah, well, now you see Toonie being able to use that self-res to get them back up and in the fight. Throws out the blind, does manage to get it, and it gets them enough time to back off and find cover. As, again, you will see ACOG and Toonie going to be watching down this mid lane as Pixie looking for a peek here, looking down sight, but finds nothing.
Oh, yeah, and it's going to make things very spooky for Rogue's Bandits. As you can see, they don't really have any idea of where to go. They don't know if they should try to go towards A or try to go towards B. Who's that tries to go towards B, try to get some intel, but he is not able to do so. They kind of make him back away. And so now they're kind of in a standstill here because ultimately they don't know which site to go to, and they want to play this safe because right now they are at the very edge of being forced to a game 3.
Yeah, and this has been a tremendous back and forth because they're getting eliminations, they're getting downs, but those reses just constantly coming back and forth for both teams. Again, one with the Dahlia, the other with the Saint, and now you can see it looked as though Tooney was trying to find Who's, but was very unsuccessful, as now that push will put it into picks, and now only the Saint and Glitch will remain on the side of Rome's Bandits.
Yeah, and while you've seen all of that happening, they actually managed to not plant the bomb whatsoever. They have 5 seconds left, and Glitch is going to probably not be able to make it there in time to get that bomb plant off. And so they are going to end up losing, and ultimately they're going to be forced to have to go to that next map. And so now things are very interesting because, hey, listen, we know that things are very, very dicey for both teams. And so with Prestige Roguewide being able to force it to that map 3, we are going to have a dramatic matchup here.
And now, I wouldn't have wanted it any other way, honestly. We're going into the game 3. We already got Windward out the way. So now we're getting down to the bare bones rogue company between these two teams. And I can honestly tell you, I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the chat, and also maybe some of us even here, were already counting out Prestige Roguewide.
I was not counting them out just yet, Cap, I will say, because I know how very ambiguous that map of Windward can be. Now, I wasn't expecting things to play out that they were. I was anticipating a 7-6 on the winning side for sure. And so I have to say that is definitely a very good win for Prestige Worldwide in general. And so now they have the chance to really, really make this a very dramatic match in general.
That they do. And you know Rome's Bandits does not want to go down here, not especially to Prestige Roguewide, considering that they lost to them earlier on and, yesterday. But now going into today, if they manage to actually fall to Prestige Roguewide, it's going to have a lot more dire consequences.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna taste very good at all if they do manage to let that happen, because that's going to be quite the opportunity that they allow themselves to let slip away. And so we don't want to see that. They don't want to see that. They want to be able to make sure that they can sustain this momentum that they had originally and not really allow themselves to get into a poor morale, because at the end of the day, like I said before, it is a win or go home.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, one thing that Tooney said in their interview yesterday is that with this team, this lineup, they really allow themselves to be an IGL, and I think that's what's stepping up huge here today for the side of Prestige Roguewide, is that Tooney is free to IGL and really execute their vision with their team, and I think it's coming up in a major way. Time and time again, you really saw Tooney at the front of the line, really holding it down for the side of Prestige Roguewide.
Yeah, and that chalk pick that we mentioned before by Tooney was actually something that was very effective because it allowed them to play in an unorthodox manner. No one really expects Tooney to play that type of character, and so I think that in itself really put a wrench into Rome Bandit's plan.
I think so too, because honestly, I wasn't expecting Tooney to come out with the chalk pick either, but let's see how they're going to handle this next game here. We're heading into game number 3 on Breach.
Yeah, and Breach is another map again that we do not see way too often at all, if at all. And on top of that, it is another one of those maps like Windward in which you're able to rotate from one site to the other site in a relatively quick manner. And so it really allows yourself to, I guess, really decide if you want to go to A, if you want to go to B. It just really depends on what type of intel you're able to get.
Now, you see, this is one of Cap's analysis, or rather, one of Captain's hot takes, but I really do think that Breach is more of an offensive-heavy map than most. And again, there's people out there that's not going to agree with me, but like you said, the rotation on Breach can happen so fast. Only 2 wall jumps separate you from the A site to the B site, so you can really rotate extraordinarily fast if you're on the offensive side of the bomb.
Yeah, that is correct. And so that is something that makes this map very interesting. The other interesting thing about this map is that if you are to go to either side of the map, depending on what composition you decide to go with, you have a lot of utilization for util as well as just sniping. And so this really favors someone like Pixie, someone like Dak, as well as someone that is very good with, let's say, edema, for example, because if you try to go towards any of those sites, those walls and the way how those could be lined up and where you will anticipate your enemy to be, you can really get a lot of frag downs as well as edema downs as well. And I mean, another thing is that the Ronin, and so you see that that Ronin was banned as a result. So that was going to be another character that I would say would be very dangerous in this situation. But now we get the juke pick on the side of Rome's Bandits as a result.
Now, you see, this is something that I was honestly expecting just because, keep in mind, that Breach, again, is one of those maps where you can get pushed off the edge very easily by the repulse coming from Juke. And also the Juke drones, they go absolutely insane on this map. So I'm not surprised at all that we saw the Bandits pick up the Juke here early.
And that's the interesting thing, right? Because with that Juke drone, in general, not only are you able to get damage, but you can also technically use it as an intel device, because if you send it out in the area where you think someone is hiding behind cover, but they actually haven't exposed themselves yet, guess what? You get that hit marker. Now you know, hey, there's someone here at this particular spot. And so Juke is a very nice pick on this map for that reason. And we're going to see here on Prestige Roguewide that they're going to end up going with that glitch and secret pick as well.
And again, that's just a great pickup to go along with the secret. Of course, bringing in the glitch is going to help with the Juke drones. And now, even with the Fixer, if the Fixer decides to throw on the thermal goggles, one quick hack will shut that down. But that Dahlia pick also complementing each other is going to go great, not just with the Chalk, but also with the Juke. If the Dahlia Link does decide to go for the Juke, again, you're giving Dahlia the Juke boots as well, which is going to make them insanely mobile for a character who normally isn't that mobile. Or even if you decide to go Dahlia Link with Chalk, again, we're bringing back that spring season meta. So this is a great comp coming from the side of Rome's Bandits.
Yeah, and I have to agree there. Definitely a lot of options to choose as far as the link, because you can obviously go with the Chalk link. More so prioritize that on offense, which allows the Chalk to go in and try to be as reckless as possible, as well as being the primary bomb planter. And then on the side of defense, if they decide to link with that Juke, they'll have a lot more mobility, like you said. And even if they wanted to, they could also use Fixer's passive, utilize the DMRs, and slow down the enemy team as they try to go for bomb plants themselves.
Yeah, well, let's see how this goes as we get ready to head into what will be the last match between these two teams. Once again, we have Rome's Bandits going up against Prestige Roguewide. And you can see the comp coming from the side of Prestige Roguewide. Tooney once again donning the glimpse.
Yep, that is correct. And so like we said before, this is going to be the final map in this matchup between Rome's Bandits and Prestige Roguewide. And so now the stakes are very, very high. Nerves are just through the roof. And so I know palms are sweaty. So if you are in the chat, if the prediction has been started, all that stuff, go ahead and type in hashtag PRW or hashtag RB for whichever team that you are rooting for in this particular matchup. Go ahead and go crazy, chat.
Well, here we go. Let's see which team is going to go crazy here in round number one. As you can see, Tana already making their way up with the Juke. And now here comes Hizzy with the hack, trying to solidify their stance on B. As you will see, ACOG and company now putting a legitimate line down on the B site. As the shield does come up, and ACOG will be making the push.
Yep, and shields up is always something that you don't want to hear at all, as we see Dak going ahead and get that down in the elimination on Class right away, who was actually playing that Chalk. And so they actually managed to get a nice defuse with Dak and ACOG pushing up. So that was a very nice distraction as Tooney went ahead and got that sneak defuse.
Again, that was a really good retake, and we're talking about how the glitch pick really is finding its way back into the meta, because what they did was that they didn't even really play to stop the plant. They allowed the plant and then simply played retake. After the plant went down, the glitch hack came out, and it was all over after that. ACOG popped the shield, and ultimately, it was the side of Rome's Bandits that were left defenseless.
That is correct. That glitch was definitely well-timed for sure, and they had everything planned out. Like you mentioned before, they went ahead and got the hack, and that obviously meant that Pixie was not going to be able to utilize his Fixer smoke and goggles, and then everyone else would not be able to utilize any util unless they had it in their hand at that point in time. And so that made things very tough for them as Tooney went for that defuse. And so now we have this round starting off very recklessly for the side of Rome's Bandits, as they are taking out one by one. And so now we have the Fixer being taken out last, and this is looking very rough for Rome's Bandits.
It is, because just now what we saw, ACOG literally just went as reckless as possible, literally just shield bashing their way to victory. And that's what we saw, especially in the beginning. We saw that ACOG was going up against the Dahlia, landing the shield bashes, and then all of a sudden Dahlia gets stuck with a Semtex. ACOG literally led the charge in that last round.
Yeah, and it's going to be very tough for them to deal with that secret shield just in general. Once they say shields up, they have no one on their team whatsoever that can really do anything to cancel that out unless they potentially have Chalk, throw a stun nade at Secret from behind. But again, you're kind of playing angles at that point. So if they're not at that particular spot at that particular time, then guess what? You're kind of screwed.
Yep, unfortunate. Feels bad so far for Rome's Bandits, but now, as we continue to get this one underway, we will see that the push coming from ACOG now is going to find themselves on the low ground here on towards that A side, as you will see Tana does get eliminated a little early here by Dak Attack.
Yep, and eliminated early by Dak Attack, which is going to open things up for Toonie to get a nasty flank. If you pay attention to the map, Toonie was right behind them, and so now we're going to end up seeing a pinch here as Toonie takes out who is going against ACOG in this situation, and things are looking very nasty, and right away, yet again, the round has ended, and so Toonie was able to get a very, very effective flank off because of the pressure and the aggressive nature they've been playing with the first 2 rounds. And so now at the back of their own Bandits' mind, they have to really think, hey, are we going to get flanked or not? Because they've been changing it up every single round, Cap.
Yeah, that was honestly pretty cheeky. That was just a good old-fashioned pinch play. But again, the wild card there was Toonie. They didn't even know Toonie was there. They were playing it the entire time, and their trigger patience was extraordinary. They didn't pull the trigger too early. They didn't jump the gun. They literally sat back and waited for the perfect opportunity to strike, and then they revealed themselves and were able to come up with the 2-piece to get the win.
Yeah, and Toonie is definitely a very, very patient individual, and so I am not surprised that he was able to do something like that in that matter. Very effective game plan there, and so that's going to make Rome's Bandits switch things up, and they're going to try to go back towards this B bomb site, so let's see how effective they are able to do that.
Well, here you go. You can already see that the Chalk push will come through and lay down all types of damage, and now it will be a full commitment over towards this B side. And for the first time, we're seeing a sign of life coming from the Rome's Bandits as they are able to take that B site, and now they only have 1 player remaining in ACOG to eliminate, and there they go. That will be the first round on the board for Rome's Bandits.
And that's going to be definitely a nice confidence booster for them because they were down 0-3, and so now that they were able to get such a convincing round in that particular time, they know that things are not down and out. And so we just have to take this 1 round at a time. 1 round at a time is what I always say. So you got to focus up and lock in.
Absolutely. Well, we get ready to head into round number 5, and so far, so good for the side of Prestige Roguewide as we get ready to head into this next round here. And again, the combination of both Toonie and ACOG are just absolutely popping off on the side of Prestige. Now it's going to have to really come down to Rome's Bandits to try and shut that down.
Yeah, and it's going to be very important seeing how exactly they decide to do that because things have been very interesting so far. Every single team now has been basically switching it up round by round, and so there's a lot of adaptation that is occurring based off of whatever the team does the previous round.
Well, here you go. You can see Tana already taking up the high ground here by the window. Not making a full push just yet, but here they go. Class leading the way with the Chalk, trying to take the upper level for themselves and pushing Hizzy back into the corner. And now just a standoff as finally the exchange will go through, and Class gets knocked first and shields up. ACOG able to pick up the second.
Oh, yeah, and that was a very, very nice teamwork there that occurred because Hizzy was actually in a corner by himself, and he was potentially going to get pushed by 3 people, but because they didn't know where anyone else was at, they kind of feared just rushing in there trying to go after Hizzy. So he allowed himself a lot of room for error by just continually to spray in that direction. And so now we're going to go ahead and listen to Rome's Bandits and see what type of comms they have.
I want someone to play. Bro, I want to pinch the guy blue tunnel, okay? I'm going to sit middle, and then one of you guys watch the hop-up wall, and then you chuckle through blue, and we're going to kill this guy in the tunnel, bro. Okay?
I'll watch. So you want me to go through mid?
No,
no,
you go through
going
B.
You're going through blue.
You're going to go through blue tunnel.
Where am I going? You're putting turrets on the right so the guy can't swing, and I'm watching the
somebody else
hop-up.
sit middle. I'm going to sit middle. I might be able to kill him.
Give me the bomb.
I don't see nothing there yet.
They're aggro.
Yo, glitches middle.
Flashed.
Aggro right.
That's 1 shot. He's still there.
Glitch is middle on the blue tunnel.
Are you good, Pix?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Glitch is still there. Another one might
I
have
don't know
been
where
there.
they're at.
I don't know.
You guys gotta slowly clear it.
Yo, no, Glitch just went into A side. He's in A door right now.
I think we need your smoke. Here,
I don't
I'm
have
giving
my
you
smoke
bomb.
now. Could be getting flanked by, I don't know if that guy's on there.
Toonie is right there. Let's
Oh,
go.
Toonie's
Alright,
over there?
I'm
Okay.
going forward, all right?
Okay, I'm gonna watch the right. I'm gonna watch the right. I'm gonna
All
watch
right,
the
ready?
right.
I'm about to go now.
Go.
Flash.
Can you kill that guy? Are they close or what?
I would
Just going for the plant.
plant the bomb and fight, bro.
Yeah, have to.
You guys gotta stay up there.
Still here.
I'm gonna have my fixture
I
again.
got 2 on me.
You see Glitch or no?
Yeah, yes, all 3. Watch over.
Okay.
I need help.
Nice.
Got you.
Nice.
Got you.
Watch over. He might come through. Yeah, swing.
Come
Good
on,
shit.
bro. Come on, bro. I'm not fucking missing. Let's
Yo,
go.
we defend here, bro. Come on. Again.
Well, there you go. They managed to pull it out there, and they desperately needed that one because now they're going to go into the half with a 4-2 split, and that, honestly, is still very winnable.
Yes, very winnable indeed. And so that's why you see them all very maintaining their composure there. Listen, things are going to be very dicey, very, very tough for each team. And so especially on the side of Rome's Bandits, with them being down in the way that they are, they probably were not anticipating this happening against this particular team, you know, respectfully. And so now it is very important that they maintain composure and take it one round at a time if they want to have a chance at winning this match.
Well, let's see if they can pull it through. As you can see, Tana now going to be laying down the juke drones in the upper level here and clearing it out very successfully as the nade does go through, but it does not stick anyone. The full send still coming from Hizzy and company as they try and take the upper level, coming in with the glitch hack, and they're able to get the knock on to Class. That was a great play.
It was a great play and very unfortunate for Class as well because at first Tana was there, but he ended up fully retreating before Class was able to do so. And so they were able to basically send 3 people right at Class and take them right out. And so they got a very easy down elimination right away. And so now you're going to see PRW immediately switching over to the other site.
Yeah, now you can see Pix trying to get that elimination, but look at the shots coming from Toonie, using the P12K to get yet another knock onto the side of Rome's Bandits. And now you can see the bomb does get planted there on the B site, but the eliminations continue to go, and the bodies continue to hit the floor, and it will be yet another win here. As again, the split will now go to a 5-2 lead in the favor of Prestige.
Whoa, buddy, I have to say that was pretty crazy there. Toonie allowing himself to stay up top and basically give himself an eagle's eye view of the opposing team, taking out Pixie, and that pretty much put Who's That in a tough situation. He didn't know if he should try to fight, if he should try to revive, or if he should retreat. And so with things just happening one by one, there was not much he could do in that situation there. And so we got a lot of things happening here, Cap.
Yeah, and we talk about how Toonie specializes with the glimpse, and I think we just saw it just then. They were able to go up top, land the pistol shots, and then as soon as they landed on the ground, they went invis in the middle of a gunfight. But it really threw off Who's, and they couldn't pin down Toonie, and then Toonie again was able to take the mid lane for themselves. As you can see, now it will be the side of Prestige to try and make a full B push.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And we see right away that ACOG is going to actually looks like he's going to rotate towards their back spawn, trying to make sure that everything is pretty much clear for them to do whatever they want. And so that's going to be a very tough retake for Rome's Bandits.
And already you saw Class was popping the chalk out, trying to see if they can possibly pick up an elimination on Toonie, but Toonie is able to get away. Literally, again, just dodging the damage here, and somehow, some way, Toonie is still up and on their feet.
Yeah, you could say that Toonie is a very slithery person because this is looking very crazy right now. He's getting himself into situations in which you would think the person would end up being eliminated, but he is able to sneak away. And it looks like that Rome's Bandits were actually able to do the same thing as Prestige Roguewide earlier and get that sneaky defuse without really having to worry about any downs or eliminations.
Well, because they went full aggro, they also went full send on B, and they forced Prestige to retreat and fall too far back, which gave them way too much room and way too much time, again, to get the defuse without having to do a lot of work for it.
Yeah, and so now we're going to have this 3-5 lead here for Prestige Roguewide. They're going to try to do their best to realistically pick some specific site, not make too many rash decisions, and try to close this out as soon as possible, because obviously, as you know, the more rounds that you allow the other team to win, then you ultimately give yourself a better chance to lose. And with the way that Prestige Roguewide has been playing today, they want to maintain that momentum, and they don't want to let that slip away.
Absolutely not, and now you can see ACOG once again leading the charge, has the bomb in hand, and the shield is up. As you can see, Class now going to be watching steps. They're not going full sin like they normally do. Now they're playing a little bit more patient. I like that from Class.
Yeah, and I think he had no choice, really, because it looks like that Dahlia was taken out right away. They had to wait for that revive there, and so Class had to just pretty much stay patient, but he's going to end up getting a trade here, and it's going to get revived by the Dahlia, but we'll see if they'll be able to get that revive themselves or not, and it looks like they will not, as Dak is taken out right away.
Again, that was a huge play coming from Tana on that one, with using the repulsor, because you already saw the shot was lined up with the tier, and then it was Tana who came through with the repulsor to throw that all away. Again, Tana saved the day in that last round.
Yeah, for sure. And that was definitely a nice shot that was lined up by Dak, but he was not able to do so. And so they take out Dak and take out Hizzy immediately afterwards. And so now we see, once again, one round at a time, because now don't blink too fast, but Rome's Bandits are catching right back up.
That they are, and leading the way is Tana with 1,600 damage. I really think that this was the missing piece for Rome's Bandits. Now that we're seeing Tana really come into their own with the Juke pick, which honestly some of us even questioned a little bit. You know, we're talking about Juke really being a main ban for the most part, but when you get them to be available and Tana picks them up, they more often than not will perform pretty well.
Yeah, and Juke is always just a dangerous character. There's not too many people here, even at LAN in general, that I can't really say, oh, well, I mean, I don't think they could really play Juke well. And so there's definitely people that play Juke a lot more efficiently and effectively than others. But nonetheless, that is the reason why you see Juke banned so often. And so it is interesting to see how well Tana has done with Juke here today.
And I got to tell you, that was such a cheeky little Juke drone spot. It took them forever to try and get rid of that one, but they finally managed to, as you can see, that the bomb will be making its way more over towards that A site, and that's where a lot of the crossfires go down. Again, Class being taken out, but the Dahlia link does come through again, and Class is back in the fight.
Yep, and you saw on the kill feed there that Toonie actually went for a pretty risky play, and who's that actually played for him. And so now Toonie's going to be out of this matchup here as Dak lines up a nice snipe and is going to try to take out two people here because they're all lined up, but he is not able to do so even though they had that bomb planted at A.
Yeah, and honestly, that was a great nade throw coming from Dak, but I don't think they have their nades upgraded because the blast radius just wasn't that far. Had it been, they would have been able to deal some damage, and now some of the crossfire going down. As you can see, Hizzy is still alive and well, trying to get the fight.
Oh.
And they will get the knock on Class. What a dodge roll, but it won't be enough to get past Tana, as Tana, once again, will come in clutch for Rome's Bandits and get the defuse.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good by Tana for sure, because Hizzy was about to have quite the clip in his hands if he had managed to pull that off, because for him to take out not only Class, but who's that in a situation was pretty crazy, since they already started the fighting on 1v2 in the first place.
Yeah, and now just like that, what we thought was a one-sided venture is now tied up even at 5-5, with Tana again coming up with 11 downs and almost 2K damage.
Yes, very impressive, and it's going to make things very interesting here, because we are getting closer and closer to creeping up to that final 7 to 6 type of match. So if we get to that 6 to 6, I know chat's going to go crazy, and we're going to go crazy, because I mean, hey, listen, this has been a pretty nice matchup to watch so far, and so I'm excited to see what exactly happens here.
I am as well, and once again, we can see ACOG going towards the upper level, trying to take it for themselves, and we already know that Clash should be there and waiting. The shield does go up, and the blind does come out. An excellent placed flashbang will give them the time they need to back off, and now you can see Tana over there towards the steps. Pixie able to get the elimination on Dak, and once again, Tana comes through with the repulsor.
Yeah, and that repulsor was actually pretty good, because that meant that ACOG would not be able to get any revive whatsoever on Dak once he was taken out by Pixie, and so that was actually a very good use of that util there for sure by Tana.
Yeah, and you can see already for Pixie that their cluster smoke was coming in to recharge, but they were taking out before it could, and down goes Pixie. They desperately needed that one, because if they would have got their cluster smoke back, that would have been monumental going in for the retake.
Yeah, and that was very unfortunate for Pixie as well because there was really no reason for him to do what he did there. And so he ended up costing his life for his teammates in a situation that he really didn't need to put himself into in the first place. And so now we're going to have a 3v3 matchup in which we should have had just a 3v4.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is that the Dahlia Chalk Link is still there and available, so they can use it. And now you can see the Choco mere seconds away from being recharged, as it looks as though Class will be making the push here. And here comes the Dahlia Link revive. They are back up into the fight, and now the Choco comes out for Class, but the shield also goes up, and Hizzy is able to come around the side and get the elimination to secure the win.
I have to say that was an absolutely chaotic round. It's almost like everything just happened so quick that you didn't really see what was actually happening. There was a bomb that was planted, and then immediately afterwards, there was just trade after trade after trade. And so you see on the side of Rome's Bandits that they're very disappointed with how that round ended up concluding, because at the end of the day, it seemed like things are going to be in their favor, and they ended up losing that round altogether.
And again, I think Hizzy really stepped up, and if I'm not completely sure, they either walked away with a 2 or even a 3-piece, because now they were able to eclipse not just the lead for their team, but for the other team as well. They have 13 downs now.
Yep, and they call Hizzy the Reaper for a reason. And so with him being able to behave the way that he has in this particular matchup, it has been very impressive thus far. And so we're going to see how exactly they decide to play this out, because they are basically one round away from sending Rome's Bandits home today, Cap.
Yeah, and Class nearly went down very early, but I think they were able to get away there. You saw the util dump come out, and they were forced to pop the chalk ult. So now, barely getting away with their life there, they're going to have to try and slow things down if they want to hold off the aggression coming from the side of Prestige Roguewide.
And PRW definitely have to play this very safely, because you don't want to make any unnecessary risk in this situation. We know what stakes are here today, and they know that they want to try to get this over with as soon as possible. And so we don't want to send this to a 6-6 on the side of Prestige Roguewide. They want to make sure that they get this over and done with right now.
I mean, honestly, if they keep playing the slow game, they might be able to just run the clock, but no longer. The bomb does go down on the A site, so now it's going to be all about the retake coming from Rome's Bandits. As we saw, Tana nearly got eliminated, but they were able to push out the entirety of Prestige Roguewide out of the upper level, and now ACOG goes down, but there's Tooney there and towards the back to try and get the revive, but now they're just flushing out the entire team of Prestige Roguewide.
Yep, and so here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be on that map 3. This is going to be a 6-6 situation here with win or go home. It feels like I'm watching an NBA Games Finals or Game 7 Finals or a Super Bowl matchup, because at this point in time, things are looking very, very crazy and dicey for both teams.
The reason it seems that way, Sonic, is because we literally have seen this all the way since game number 1. And now it is going all the way. All of that hard work, all of the struggle has literally just come down to one more round.
One more round, and what a round this is going to be. And so we're going to have to see what exactly Prestige Roguewide is going to do as far as planning out their plan of attack. Are they going to prioritize going to A or to B? Are they going to focus more on getting the bomb and getting out, or just trying to play it safe and potentially get some sneaky eliminations? Is Tooney going to decide to try to flank or play with his team?
Well, here we go. You already see that the flash does come out, but so does the glitch hack, which means that the push coming from Class is not going to go underway. ACOG, again, going to be popping the shield, and the flash does go out, but Class was able to avoid getting blinded. And now Hizzy trying to play the shoulder game with Class as the Simtex now goes out, but it misses its mark.
Oh, yeah, and so now, right now, they know that Class is in this particular spot. He's been here every single time, and most of the time, whenever he stays there, what he does is try to bait out ACOG to do shields up, and then he immediately flashes so that way he can't try to advance towards him. And so this time, that's not exactly what they did, and so now they're going to pretty much play things safe. They're just waiting and waiting and waiting, trying to see if they could potentially trick RB into making some unnecessary decisions.
Now, you see, and this is what's so tricky about the comp coming from the side of Rome's Bandits, is that right now they really just need a util dump in this upper level. We literally see 3 players from PRW held up in that same spot, but they don't have any characters that can util dump. So, again, they're just going to have to play the slow game and pick them off one at a time.
Yep, and they only have 30 seconds to do so. And so now ACOG is going to go ahead and get that bomb planted at the A site. And so at this point in time, it's going to be very important for them to just play it safe and sit back and try to see if they can hold things off and try to secure that win.
This is going to be an insanely tough retake. Normally, when they go into the retake, they have at least one knock or one peek already in the books. Now, this is going to be a solid 4v4. The blind does come out off the flashbang, and Class goes down first. That is huge, but the trade does go down on Dak, and you will see 2 players down on the side of Prestige Roguewide. As we can finally see, it will be ACOG left alive in a 2v1 scenario.
Oh my goodness, and for that to happen the way that it did is just absolutely unfortunate, as ACOG is going to be put into a situation in which he is not able to clutch it up. And so Rome's Bandits are going to go ahead and secure the victory there as they manage to win that final map 7-6. That is absolutely bizarre, absolutely crazy. That was just a crazy matchup overall, and for Prestige Roguewide to make that as close as they did, I have to say it's very impressive, but it has to be a heartbreaking loss for them.
It absolutely does, but they should not be holding their heads low at all. They literally went toe-to-toe against Rome's Bandits to the bitter end. Both of those teams had to work for that, no matter what. I don't want to see anybody holding their heads low after a game like that. As far as I'm concerned, both of those teams just won.
Yeah, that was an absolutely crazy matchup there. And so now we're going to have to see what exactly is the actual thought process that occurred in that particular matchup, because that was just an absolutely insane series.
I mean, there's really no other ways to describe it. It literally went the entire distance, and it all came down to one final round, and literally just one small peak is what changed everything, because initially Class went down first, and that was huge. I thought it was all over at that point, but Class had some tremendous backup with their teammates, and they were able to come in and solidify that victory. And with that being said, I cannot wait to see and hear what we get to honestly just hear from an interview with one of the players from Rome's Bandits, who we will have for you right after this break. Do not go anywhere.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Rogue Company Championship Series. I'm Rome DMV, joined alongside GK, and we just had one of the best series of the weekend by far. It came down to one round. That's it, just one round difference between these two teams. Was Prestige Roguewide able to do it? No, they didn't do it again. They almost took out the Bandits 2 times in back-to-back days. Just barely not able to make it happen.
I mean, that last round, Rome, me personally, I thought it was over for the Bandits. When I saw Class go down, I couldn't see a way of the Bandits making it through that round. But then the next thing you see, they flood through and they make the most of the opportunities they had. And somehow they get it done. And Tanner, rightfully so, did what he had to do as well. He played so well that series.
Yeah, Tanner played absolutely incredible for sure. So many ways. You see him on the juke right now, able to utilize those drones, the repulsor, even the grenade. It was all clicking for Tana. You could see that one right there. That play was absolutely ridiculous coming in from Tana to tie things up 5-5. A lot of people can say that's the most important round of the game right there to tie it up at 5-5. And I mean, listen, this squad went up 6-5 over Rome's Bandits, and Rome's Bandits said, you know what? No, that's not going to happen. We're not getting 6. We're going to be able to win these 2 rounds in a row and take this one home.
Right, and that moment when they revived that final team member, it was a 3v1 in that last round.
Yeah.
We all knew it was over. We saw a 2v1 and we thought, oh, a Sigrid, they could get it done, the bomb's down. As soon as it was a 3v1, we were like, wow, the Bandits have actually made it back. And it was incredible because the opposing team, Roguewide, they didn't even have a res on that last map. And anyone who knows Rogue, not having a res on demo when you can,
yeah,
it's crazy, but they almost did it, man. They almost set a whole new meta.
Yeah, Prestige Roguewide really were so close to making it happen. Shout out to them. They did absolutely incredible today. But right now, we got to hear from one of the players of Rome's Bandits. So for the first time, first interview I'm pretty sure that he's ever had, we're going to be sending it over to Heartbreaker to go ahead and interview Who's That A.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm here with my smaller twin, Who's That? And I just have to open it up with, I hear a lot, revenge is sweet. Can you confirm?
It feels so good. We're fighting for our lives right there. You
Yeah.
know, they're a good team. They don't play like how every other team plays. They play almost like the older meta, the padded, the flanking. A lot of teams are structured now, but shout out to those guys. They gave us a hell of a fight and they made us better.
Yeah. So going into that match from the first one, right? They were a team that upset you guys early in the tournament. Did it make you adjust? As you said, they played differently. Did you come in now playing more in that fashion or just adjusting your play to kind of counter that play?
When we went to the draft each map, I asked my team, because initially going into the series, I said, I don't enjoy playing against the Glimpse. We're getting flanked. It's hard to pay attention to while all that other stuff's going on. So we didn't give them Glimpse the first map, the second map. The third map, we just had a little talk. We're like, Glimpse or what did we ban? I don't even know. But we decided to give them the Glimpse. I just really paid attention for the flank, and we adjusted. We gave them the Sigrid, but we felt like there were certain parts of them which were really much stronger than like other parts.
Okay,
So.
and so moving forward, there's still one match more to kind of determine who you guys could be playing, and then that will lead into the next match. Is there somebody particular you're looking forward to out of the upcoming matchup?
Joker, Rugi, I'm coming for you.
You heard it here first. He wants to face High Caliber. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us, and we'll be heading back to the desk.